I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. Enough.
You're crazy.
Enough. You don't shut up. When I said I'm done, I meant I'm done.
Cuando se termine el contrato, ella coge su lado y yo el mío. Es fácil. Tú no quieres compromiso, tú te quedas sola, no te cases.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Awesome! Throughout the season, we watched Danielle and Yohan fight for the control in their relationship. And this included Danielle trying to gain power by constantly disrespecting Yohan. But things really escalated when Danielle met up with her ex, Taylin. Yohan did not want to meet her ex, and he especially didn't want Danielle to be friends with him. So when he finally did agree to meet Taylin, Danielle thought that she had finally worn Yohan down. But he pulled the rug right out from under her.
Daniela le gusta hombre con pene grande.
And she didn't have the control that she thought she did. Danielle ended up embarrassed and frustrated, which is just so hypocritical. She wants Yohan to do what she wants, but won't budge when he wants her to do something. Danielle is constantly disturbing the peace in her own relationship, and I keep thinking that after each fight, maybe she will learn to compromise. And maybe even this time she would just let go of trying to keep her ex around. But instead, Yohan ended up actually playing basketball with Taylin and apologizing.
Te pido disculpas por quizás me pasé con alguna pregunta.
There's a pattern here that is very obvious. Yohan is at least attempting to compromise, even though he's pretty much kicking and screaming the whole way there. He met Taylin like Danielle wanted, and he said sorry when the meeting didn't go well. But Danielle continues to change nothing, does not admit when she's wrong, and does not try to compromise even a little bit. Yohan has realized that and is already sick of it.
He hecho demasiado cambio en esta relación desde que empezamos. Y ya estoy cansado.
In this case, at the beach, Danielle could have dropped this entire argument since Yohan did meet up and apologize to Taylin. But instead, she says she hopes this doesn't happen again when more of her friends come to visit, and demands that he apologize to her as well.
¿Tú dices lo siento?
¿Por qué?
¿Qué tú haces?
Sí.
She's pretty much saying, hey, when I bring over the next ex, don't fight with them. Instead of just saying, I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable and that I won't bring my exes around anymore.
Ella siempre quiere tener la razón y siempre quiere hacer la cosa a su manera.
Danielle says she won't change, but then expects Yohan to change. It's been pretty frustrating to watch.
I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. Enough.
You're crazy.
Enough. You don't shut up.
This whole time she's been talking in her interviews too, as if everyone watching will agree with her. So when the tell-all aired, I was very excited to see her get called out by the cast. Danielle has not thought at all that she is wrong, and we know that she can't handle criticism online well, so I was very curious to see how she would react to criticism face to face. We did have to wait to get to their full segment until part 3 of the tell-all, so at first we just hear about the status of their relationship.
Are you still married?
Yes, we are still technically married.
And then the coven gives their opinion on Danielle.
With all due respect, I think that you emasculated Yohan and carried his balls in your purse.
The entire issue here is that Danielle doesn't see that she is disrespecting Yohan. So she takes this comment and turns it around as something Yohan is doing wrong.
If he wants to be the patriarch, then he needs to pay all the bills, and I'll sit home and cook and clean.
It sounds like because she's paying the bills that she gets more of a say than Yohan does, which is actually a much deeper issue than who's making more or doing more. She met this guy knowing that he didn't have money and had traditional views, but yet she married him and won't even try to meet in the middle and work these issues out. Danielle was pretty awful this season, but I think she doesn't get too much heat because Chris is just such a ridiculous train wreck.
Tell us about this ex-boyfriend. What happened?
Her stories just keep getting more and more crazy too, especially the one about her kicking the door in to confront her ex about sending nude photos. Everyone just looks uncomfortable when she's talking.
I crashed his phone and I ran like hell.
Flipping cars, crushing phones, anyone compared to her is going to seem pretty mild. I'm just glad that someone finally said they were Team Jamie on this. If anything, this weird live pillow talk situation was good for her. It was that Jamie finally had someone to defend her. I won't say much more about this couple, but I don't believe anything that Chris says. I mean, I feel like Oussama when I hear Chris talk.
I try to understand, but I understand nothing.
Anyways, back to Danielle and Yohan. We finally get to their segment on part 3 of the tell-all, and I almost thought that they were going to say they were separating. But even though Danielle kept saying over and over at one point that she was done, they act like they are trying to work things out.
En la relación hay algunos problemas. Está la comunicación y está también la confianza.
They show the clips of some of their fights, and Danielle turns on the tears, acting like she's the one dealing with an unreasonable narcissist.
I think because it was the first time I saw how cold he could be.
But luckily, the cast and Tim does agree that she brought stress to Yohan's birthday with the whole ex thing. And I'm sure Yohan feels so validated.
But with Talon coming in, that's disrespectful. Your husband needs to be respected.
Debbie has said some really dumb things during this tell-all, but I agree with what she's saying here. It's too bad that Yohan is probably too old for Debbie. He's in his early 30s, not his early 20s.
If you said, like, hey, I'm inviting you to come, but if you don't want me to go, then we just won't go. But it was never given to him as an option of it just not happening, period. It was either you come with me or I go alone.
Yeah. Doesn't talking about it and giving your husband some sort of option just sound so reasonable? Like, hey, if you don't feel comfortable about it, I won't do it. But this is unreasonable Danielle over here, and she can't even agree that that sounds better. What she says goes, period.
For him to not want to have a hangout session with the last guy you were sleeping with?
For him to decide that who my friends can be, yeah.
They didn't dig into her too hard, but I'm glad that the cast is acknowledging her lack of respect.
Because you tell him what to do all the time. And he just told you, like, this one thing he didn't want you to do.
Yohan is all smiles hearing that too. That is until Talon walks in. His demeanor completely changes. He's just so done with this. I don't know why Talon keeps getting asked if he is still interested in Danielle either.
No. None?
Those days are past.
This is about her being disrespectful. I don't think there's a huge question here about cheating. I did roll my eyes a bit, though, when Sean asks if Yohan is upset that Talon and Danielle are in the same studio together. They clearly brought him in here to stir shit up. Why didn't they do any of that for Chris and Jamie? Come on. They even show the clip of Talon and Danielle hanging out and talking about Yohan.
As soon as I made the decision that I was moving here and I got off that plane, he was like a completely different person.
And obviously now he's even more pissed.
It says that...
Así tú hablas de tu esposo con tu amante, con tu ex pareja.
Talon looks like he has regrets about coming on the show, and Yohan seems to just purely not care anymore. I've said this in a few of my other Danielle and Yohan videos, but I'm going to say it one more time. This guy married Danielle thinking that she had money, would have a baby with him, and was taking him to the US. And then he found out that she could not have a baby and that she really wasn't that rich. And then she decided on her own to move to the Dominican Republic without telling Yohan her plan. And then she told Yohan that he needed to make more money to pay the bills so that she could retire there. The first month that Danielle moved to the Dominican Republic, Yohan realized that his dream to go to the US was crushed. And I think that right then that was it for him. But then on top of that, Danielle has decided that she's going to meet up with a recent ex, and Yohan has zero power in their relationship to stop her. And now on top of that, he is hearing that she is talking negatively about him to the ex he didn't want her to hang out with. Did I get all of that right? Good Lord. So this isn't just about her ex. There are some deep issues here with trust that started way before this.
Porque ya yo no te veo como una pareja que tengo que respetar, que tengo que darle amor.
She has done whatever she wants this whole time with him having zero control. And now he is just done with it.
Cuando se termine el contrato, ella coge su lado y yo el mío.
The cast thinks that he is overreacting. But is he? Let me know what you think. Because when you think about it, this ended up being nothing as he expected.
Pero ya no quiero estar con Daniel. Ya no tengo el mismo amor que sentía por ella.
Should he lash out on TV? No. But in general, what are they as a couple supposed to do now? He can't make all of the money so she can retire, and she can't even be reasonable and let him make any decisions. I mean, I get that he is upset, but he goes for the jugular here.
Es fácil. Tú no quieres compromiso, tú te quedas sola, no te cases.
If someone told me that they didn't care about me anymore on national television or said that they were done like Danielle did on the beach, I think that would be it for me. She doesn't even really seem to take him seriously here either. She starts talking about how she will give up control but just wants an equal partner. But she doesn't care about any of that. She wanted someone to do whatever she wants to do. And I almost think that his reaction makes her think that she is gaining control. Him lashing out makes him not look great, but he is too done to even care. So now she knows if he stays with her that she can in fact get what she wants, even if he tries to push back.
I have to either be unbelievably patient or I have to leave him. It's like, I don't see him changing.
The only good thing said at the end of this is that Danielle says that they need to go to therapy.
We need someone to help us work through it, and I'm hoping that I can convince him.
Yes, thank you for suggesting that instead of rolling a coconut around your house. Everyone here needs some therapy. Therapy for all.
Oussama wants to remind you to subscribe to the kiblz channel. If you don't, he will appear in your window and read you poetry.
Touch me, hold my bones.
And with that, the tell-all is wrapped. We will have to wait and see if we get any updates on Danielle and Yohan. We do know that Nicole is filming another 90-day season, but I don't know about anyone else filming yet. There were a few needed breakups, but a few couples made it and are trying to make it work. So I'm sure that we will see some of these couples return. And who knows, maybe we'll see a few newly single cast members pop up on the single life. The next season to start soon will be before the 90 days. And that spinoff is usually pretty entertaining, especially now that we know Gino and Jasmine are back. I can't wait for that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!